poor souls with no one else to turn to.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Disney villains with the saddest backstories.
I had wings once, they were stolen from me. That's all I wish to say about it.
Now I'm taking everything from you.
And so, I lived unhappily ever after.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most tragic tales behind some of the company's most notable rogues. We won't be looking at Pixar villains because they deserve a list of their own.
But by then, it was too late.
Since we'll be going into some sinister details, a spoiler warning is in effect. Which of these sad stories made you sympathize with the villain? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Hades, Hercules. There's a good reason Hades is so bitter all the time. When the gods were deciding what they were going to rule over, he was assigned to the underworld. Hades had to spend an unknown amount of time surrounded by pained and depressed souls with little sunlight.
How are things in the underworld?
Well, they're just fine. You know, a little dark, a little gloomy, and as always, hey, full of dead people. What are you gonna do?
And based on how his siblings treated him at a party for Hercules, he isn't really welcomed when he's able to visit the surface.
You know, I haven't been this choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh? So is this an audience or a mosaic?
After spending countless years being mistreated by his family and working full-time at a job he resented without reprieve, Hades became desperate to upset the status quo.
I'm the one giving orders now, Bolt Boy, and I think I'm gonna like it here.
All he truly wanted was to escape the fate that had been forced on him. Number 9. Ursula, the Little Mermaid. Ursula is infamously known as a sea witch who punishes those who can't live up to her magical contracts.
Yes, I've had the odd complaint, but on the whole, I've been a saint. To those poor unfortunate souls.
Before she spent most of her time making deals in an isolated den, she lived among the other merfolk in the palace. The reasons why she was exiled have varied over the years.
I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch.
In the book Poor Unfortunate Soul, A Tale of the Sea Witch, she lived in the kingdom after escaping violent villagers but was later banished because of her tentacular appearance. While we don't know if this was why Ursula was exiled in the film, being sent away clearly had a negative effect on her mind.
And now look at me, wasted away to practically nothing. Banished and exiled and practically starving, while he and his flimsy fish folks celebrate.
She might have actually helped others with her magic if Triton had given her a second chance. Number 8. Chienyoung, Mulan. While Chienyoung was growing up, she discovered that she had special abilities. Unfortunately, no one was willing to accept her into their homes or societies.
The more power I showed, the more I was crushed.
She allied with the vicious conqueror Bori Khan in the hopes that she could find respect and a sense of belonging.
Remember what you want. A place where your powers will not be vilified. A place where you are accepted for who you are.
They were victorious in many battles together, but despite her contributions to Bori Khan's conquests, he still saw her as an outcast and a witch.
Not witch. Warrior.
She, ironically, had the best connection with Mulan, who was supposed to be her enemy. Knowing Chienyoung could only truly identify with someone who fought against her shows how lonely her life must have been. Number 7. Nuka, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. After Scar fell, all the lions who were loyal to him were forced to live in the barren outlands and labeled the Outsiders. Nuka was the son of their leader, Zira. Although he constantly tried to impress his mother, she always saw him as inferior to his brother Kovu.
I should have been the chosen one. I'm the oldest, I'm the strongest, I'm the smartest.
Nuka spent years in a depressing environment, covered in termites and struggling to become a lion that could make his family proud.
Mother, are you watching? I'm doing it for you, and I'm doing it for me.
His desperation eventually drove him to his own destruction while trying to impress his mother Zira. Because of his tragic upbringing, Nuka went to his grave in pain, never knowing if he'd won the approval he craved above all else.
I'm sorry, Mother. I tried.
Number 6. Scar, the Lion King. Before Scar got his trademark facial feature, he was the leader of a noble Pride Lands team known as the Lion Guard. While patrolling one day, a stranger promised to give him more power.
With help from me and my roar, he and I could rule everything. I found his idea intriguing.
But it was all a trap to trick Scar into getting attacked by a cobra. The stranger offered to heal the damage from the bite in exchange for servitude. Scar refused and took the cobra and strange lion down instead. When he told Mufasa this story, he received a cruel nickname instead of praise.
But Mufasa just nicknamed me Scar. Then I knew that he shouldn't be king.
It's later revealed that venom in this world can turn a lion evil. Scar's path of villainy may have sadly started because of the cobra's attack.
Life's not fair, is it?
Number 5. Lady Tremaine, Cinderella. Cinderella's father and Lady Tremaine had both lost a spouse when they got married.
Ella's stepmother, high-spirited lady that she was, set out to restore life and laughter to the house.
Unfortunately, their union didn't stay happy for long. During a party, Lady Tremaine is hurt when she overhears that her husband still carries strong feelings for his deceased wife.
She's at the very heart of this place. And that's why we must cherish this house, always for her.
Before she can fully process this information, Cinderella's father passes away. Lady Tremaine instantly begins worrying about how she'll take care of her children in the wake of this devastating turn. She later reveals that seeing Cinderella every day was a painful reminder of her many losses.
The next time, she married for the sake of her daughters. But that man, too, was taken from her. And she was doomed to look every day upon his beloved child.
While Lady Tremaine definitely should have been kinder to Cinderella, the personal tragedies she suffered help explain why she was so cruel. Number 4. Michael Goob Yagoobian, Meet the Robinsons. When Lewis lived at an orphanage, his constant tinkering on inventions often kept his roommate, avid baseball player Michael Goob Yagoobian, up late.
He was up all night working on his stupid project. But that's what happens when you get a science geek for a roommate.
This proved to be a huge problem when it came time for a Little League championship game.
I fell asleep in the 9th inning, and I missed the winning catch. Then I got beat up.
After this traumatic experience, Goob fell into a spiral of doubt and self-loathing. His negative feelings prevented him from being adopted and led to him growing up alone in an abandoned orphanage. While parts of his backstory are played for laughs, his origins are truly heartbreaking.
Heed my words, Goob. Don't let it go.
Goob's inability to move on prevented him from finding a family. Number 3. Professor Callahan, also known as Yokai, Big Hero 6. A pilot named Abigail Callahan once volunteered to travel through a transportation portal that was funded by a businessman named Alistair Cray.
Ready to go for a ride, Abigail?
We've invited all these people. Might as well give them a show.
Her father, Professor Callahan, was there to see her break new ground. While Abigail was traveling through the portal, though, the experiment went wrong. Professor Callahan was helpless, only able to watch as she was seemingly lost forever.
You did this! You knew it wasn't ready!
This incident enraged him, and he spent years planning revenge against Cray. Blinded by his vendetta, he became the villain Yokai, and eventually caused the demise of his pupil Tadashi.
Just let him die.
Give me the mask, hero.
He went in there to save you!
That was his mistake!
Although he saw his daughter alive again, he was so ashamed of what he'd done in her name that he could barely look at her. Number 2. Teka, Moana. Long ago, a goddess named Tefiti rose from the ocean to work a miracle.
Her heart held the greatest power ever known. It could create life itself. And Tefiti shared it with the world.
But her heart was stolen by a misguided Maui. This event caused the gracious Tefiti to transform into the fearsome demon known as Tika. To make matters worse, humanity thought Tika was nothing more than a vicious beast.
Chasing away our fish, draining the life from island after island, until every one of us is devoured by the bloodthirsty jaws of inescapable death!
She spent an unknown number of years desperate to get her heart back. As she searched in vain, the islands around her struggled to maintain the life she gave. Fortunately, her sad tale had a happy ending.
This is not who you are. You know who you are.
With Moana's brave act, Tefiti was restored to her true self, and the islands were able to flourish again. Number 1. Maleficent. Maleficent. While Maleficent was a young fairy in the magical lands of the Moors, she met a human boy named Stefan. The two became friends, and eventually developed even deeper feelings.
He told her it was true love's kiss. But it was not to be.
Years later, Stefan returned at the command of the king. Maleficent was initially glad to have him return to her.
And she forgave Stefan, his folly and his ambition. And all was as it had been long ago.
However, after he gave her a sleeping potion, Stefan committed a terrible crime. Maleficent woke the next day to find that he had removed her wings, causing severe physical and emotional pain. Being betrayed by someone she loved in such a harsh way caused Maleficent to stop trusting humans, close herself off, and embrace villainy.
Maleficent, please don't do this. I'm begging you.
I like you begging. Do it again.
It took her over a decade to overcome her tragic origins. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.